It was a typical Friday evening. My friends and I decided to hit our usual spot to celebrate the end of a stressful work week. 20 minutes into arriving, my friend Becky was feeling really unwell. I mean, she'd had a few drinks. Joe offered to take her home and I decided to stay. The night was still young. Besides, I noticed a mysterious guy in a baseball cap eyeing me up. Something I didn't mention to the girls. I told my friend Joe that I'd take a cab home. Hey, message me once you drop off Becky and you guys are home safely, okay? Little did I know, that night would be my biggest regret for reasons I couldn't fathom at that moment. I went back into the club looking for the guy in the baseball cap, but I didn't see him. So I sat at the bar and as I was about to order a drink, he appeared next to me and offered to buy me one. His eyes held this inexplicable charm that just drew me in. Curiosity got the better of me and soon enough we were chatting, laughing and losing ourselves in the music. Before I knew it, we were kissing. As the night wore on, a connection deepened. And in the heat of the moment, I made a decision that would alter the course of my life. I agreed to leave the club with him and go back to his place. On the way home, I could feel my phone vibrating in my purse, but I just remember being so captivated by his charm, I didn't even check it. When I entered his house, a subtle unease settled in. I dismissed it. It must have been nerves, I thought. We spent the night together, but the next morning, I woke up in my underwear in a basement room with no windows. I thought to myself, I don't remember coming down here. I looked for my purse and my phone, but I couldn't find them. I went to the top of the stairs. There was a grill on the door. I tried to open it, but it was locked. I shouted at the top of my voice, "Hello, hello, hello." Suddenly, he appeared right in front of me on the other side of the grill, dressed in a suit, tying his tie around his neck. He didn't say a word. He just stared at me. I assumed that he was getting ready for work. He slammed shut the door. That's when I realized I was in trouble. I started screaming, shouting for help for what felt like hours, hoping someone would hear me. I was so exhausted. I fell asleep on the floor, only to be awakened by him opening the door. The grill still locked. I walked up the stairs and I was face to face with him, only the bars separating us. He gave me a shopping bag with clothes and told me to have a shower and come and sit with him. I thought this might be my chance to escape. After I had a shower, he let me out and I saw dinner on the table. After we finished eating, he told me to pretend like I was his wife. Talk to him, ask him questions, do things a wife should do. I hesitated. Suddenly his face became serious. With his fingers pointing in my direction, he said, "If you try to escape, you'll end up like the other girls." My gut churned. I submitted to all of his demands. I don't know if I should say we had sex or to say it wasn't really consensual. All I knew is I didn't want to, but my life was at stake, so I complied. He ravaged my body, repeatedly in every different position. I was just staring into space, pretending to enjoy it, calling him all sorts of sweet names I could think of: baby, darling, honey, you name it. This carried on every night, apart from when I was on my monthly cycle. I noticed he always left the keys in plain sight. I was waiting for the right time, and I got it. It was his birthday. He was so drunk he fell on the floor and fell asleep. He was out cold. This was my chance. I looked at the keys, but then I remembered what he'd said about the other girls who tried to escape. Fear got the best of me. I took out one of the knives from the kitchen. I wanted to stab him, My heart was pounding in my chest. But again, I was too scared. The next morning before he left for work, he said, "I thought you would have taken the chance to escape, but you didn't. By the way, that was a test. Those keys don't work on that door." And I wasn't that drunk either. Hearing that, my freaking body went numb. He locked me back in the basement. On the TV, I saw my picture. It was on the news. My family and my friends, they were still searching for me. I started to cry. I was never a praying person. In fact, I didn't even believe in God, but I found myself praying every day just for a way out. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. It was like I was trapped in an endless nightmare. Fear, desperation, and a relentless longing for freedom became my constant companion. I got pregnant. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. It's been 4 years now. One day I heard the basement door opening. My daughter said, "Dada!" We quickly went up the stairs. When the person opened the basement door, it wasn't him. I was scared, surprised, but I was so happy at the same time. My daughter was scared for sure. Apart from myself and her dad, she had never seen another human being, and she was crying hysterically. It was 2 men dressed in balaclavas. They came to rob the house and decided to check the basement. I told them that I was abducted, but they didn't believe me. They were convinced that I heard them breaking in and that I had come down to the basement to hide from them. They thought that I had called the police and I was trying to stall them until they came. I pleaded with them to help me, and I shouted, "Google my name." They looked at me quickly and just left. Anyway, that was the way out I was praying for. I just sat down with my daughter and I started to cry. I gave up. Suddenly, I saw one of them climbing back through the window and said, "We Googled you. Your picture came up as a missing person." I gave up, but God didn't. The thief tried to find the key to the grill, but he couldn't. The other accomplice was outside on the lookout. He kept phoning him. As he was about to leave us there, I said to him, "You came back for a reason. I mean, what are the chances you break into a house and find a missing person who desperately needs your help? Please, you have to find a way to tell the police." He asked me if I'm crazy. "Most of these houses get robbed by us. No chance." There was a laptop on the table. I told him to try to find a picture of the kidnapper and a letter with his name and address and bring it to me. When he returned, I took it and I told him to use the laptop to take a photo of me and the baby. When he took our photo, I gave him my email and I told him to send our picture to the police and ask for help. Within 20 minutes of that email being sent, I heard the doors being kicked off and the police shouting. Finally, they got to the basement door and cut that grill off, and I was rescued by the police. The police identified the kidnapper and went to his workplace and arrested him. The investigation involving the other girls is ongoing, but I'm sure he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. Can you relate? Remember when going out to trust your instincts, stick with your friends, and always have a plan. Share your location with a buddy, and if you need a ride, call or use a trusted service. Your safety is the main event, so let's look out for each other, okay? And hey, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, share with your pals, and leave a comment. It's free to subscribe.